When Kristen was a little girl, she loved her big brothers and, wanted to play with them all the time. She was acted more like a boy than a girl. And one day she said that she was going to grow up to be a boy. And we told her, no, you're going to always be a girl. And she was very, very, very sad. And now she is very aware of these people who say, oh, my 3-year-old said they want to be a boy or they want to be a girl. And so they're like, let's change them. But Kristen is very happy to be a girl, a woman now. And, but she's also always been very active in sports. Like I say, more like a boy than a girl. She didn't like frilly things like my other girls did. So our girls went to gymnastics, all 3 of them, Kristen, Becca, and Tiffany, and we cleaned the gym so we could pay for it because we weren't rich. We weren't poor, but we weren't rich. And, they did really well, and they would get ribbons and everything from that. And we'll go with Kristen first. When Kristen, one time there was a meet, and they decided they were going to see who could do the most backflips in a row, and she won. And she still will do a backflip on the trampoline or into the water, but she doesn't do it on dry ground anymore. And then we went to Cedar City because for some reason she was supposed to was supposed to compete in, I don't know if it was state or what, but anyway, she won the gold medal for the what's it called? Had it earlier. Looks like a bench. But she, jumped over it. It was that particular one. And another person that had a big deal with that, why can't I remember the name of it? Anyway, Becca was at a meet, and she was doing really well on all the other things. And all of a sudden, when she was running toward that bench, the vault. Well, she was running towards the vault, and all of a sudden, she just fell and slipped and went on the floor, on the mats, and her poor little face got really banged up, but she was very brave about it. I don't even know if she cried, maybe cried a little bit, but she was very brave about it. And I'm trying to think if there's something with Tiffany, but I can't think of anything right now. I mean, she enjoyed gymnastics and worked really hard at it. And when your grandpa and I lived in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, we went there after I graduated from college, from BYU, and his dad wanted us to manage his apartments that were in there in Tulsa. He had 2 fourplexes, and so at first we were in a bigger one that had more bedrooms, but then he decided it'd be better if we went to the one that was smaller. And so we were there, and there was a couple that moved in across from us that took our apartment, and he was a radio person, and she was, staying at home at the time. And the neighbors that lived right beside us, they were a little unusual, and they did have a lot of drugs, we think. So one day, all of a sudden, I always locked my door. Because, you know, you never know what's going to happen. But that day I didn't lock my door. And we watched, and she came running into the apartment. She had like material hanging from her where she'd been tied up. And so we quickly locked the door and called the police. And we looked out the window watching those people. They even threw toothbrushes on sheets to take with them. They were taking everything from there. And then the police came. They were caught in the act, so, you know, it was good. But a couple of months later, I got a subpoena. We were back in Utah now, and I got a subpoena to fly back there and testify. But I was like 8 months pregnant with Uncle Gary, and so we finally talked him into not having me go back because the plane wouldn't be good for me to fly on a plane at 8 months. And so that was kind of the end of that story.